So today we're back in our demo account. We're talking about productivity, specifically how you can use AI agents inside of whatever system you're using to automate much of the initial response. The first 5 minutes after a potential lead calls you is the most critical time for you to be able to touch base with them. And even if you have an AI agent making that initial point of contact, they have been heard, they have been listened to, and you have the ability to follow up at an appropriate time or set workflows. The idea that you have to be infinitely available to speak with potential clients, it destroys your capability to effectively plan your time. So these AI agents are all about helping you get your time back as an agent, both to serve clients in in-person activities like showings or closings, and just to have your personal time back to yourself. So all that being said, we're talking about how this can be done inside of LesixPro, which of course is built on the Go High Level platform. So if you decide to go get high level, you can do that all the same. But what you essentially do is from your dashboard screen, go ahead and navigate down to your settings, and you have a couple places where you can set up these agents to do those responses for you. The first one being the conversational AI, where you can go through and set up whatever bots you want to set up, AI employees or agents, however you refer to them, and make sure that they're set up to the parameters that you want to set them up. So under the conversational AI, you can create a bot here, and you can make it a general Q&A bot, an appointment booking bot, or you can start from scratch and do whatever it is that you want to do. Let's just do it as a general Q&A bot, and then click continue. And this is where you can set all of the different parameters, like what supported channels you have, everything from the chat widget to SMS, Instagram, Facebook, and whatnot. You can set it on autopilot, or you can suggest what sort of prompts take place inside of the chat window. Either way, you can set up these parameters on the front end. You can set up your business name, set the parameters around when people respond. And if you're on a basic plan instead of Go High Level, it's going to cost you a couple pennies per response. So just understand that your AI doesn't come free. You have to pay for it. Freeing up your time is not something that you can do for free, but when you use it effectively, you can plan effectively. So when you go to your bot training, I'm going to go ahead and click on save here. When you go to your bot training, this is where you can start to give it very important information. So here we have a blog set up, but let's go to, let's say, lesix.agency/blog. And then you can get data, and it's actually going to fetch all of the different channels you might have that can be used to train that AI bot on what your company does, how it does it. You can see here that there's a number of different blogs, a number of different pieces of information that this particular AI employee has been trained on. And you can add as much as you want to here to train your AI employee effectively. You can also add Q&As. And so this requires you ahead of time to understand your ideal clients and understand what their logical questions might be. And this is where you can go into ChatGPT and actually use your ideal client profile to develop a list of 50 questions with answers that you might want to do. So when we drag over our audiences that we're trying to communicate to, and let me pull those audiences in here. So we have our combined audiences here, the ones that we serve inside the Lesix agency. And I'm just going to start with the universal prompt that says analyze this document. One little tip and trick is that if you don't want to get a detailed report because you already know what it says, you can say analyze this document, reply with ... when done, and nothing else. So basically that's telling the AI employee, or the AI that you're treating as an employee, understand what it is that you're doing, and then we'll go ahead and talk. And now you can say things like, now I'm developing a Q&A training for an AI agent on LesixPro. Can you give me 50 relevant questions my audiences might have about my brand, history, services, benefits, and generally how we might help them? With each question, give me an answer. Right. So what we're doing here is providing more information to the chat. Now I will also tell you that not just your audiences, but you probably want to provide your brand documentation here, any analysis about your services. Because ChatGPT can surf the web, you also probably want to provide your website, and it'll give you here a list of 50 questions that we can use to train this AI employee or this bot. And we can even test it out as we're doing this. Now, as you do that, again, we look at these questions. Will I lose access to my campaigns if I stop using the service? Can this help maintain relationships with existing clients? I mean, these are all very general questions. How does LesixPro reduce my marketing costs? Do you offer a money-back guarantee? Are there any hidden extra fees? I mean, these are all general questions that we have gotten before. Do you handle paid advertising? Get that question asked all the time. Can I delegate tasks within the system to my team? Absolutely. All questions that we have gotten at one point or another from clients or potential clients. So you can paste all of those questions in, perfect the answers in whatever way that you want to, and the more that you provide those answers, the more ability you have to really ensure that this AI bot is representing your company well. Remember, with AI, the importance of what you do is not in the prompts. It is in the data. It is in the information that you provide. The deeper, the better information that you can provide, the more accurate responses you will get. And even though all of these different bots are generally using OpenAI, Claude, these large language models through the API, you still want to provide as much information as you can so that that API is connecting your goals with what it is that you're trying to do for your clients. And then again, you can go to your bot goals and you can write a prompt here and add whatever sort of information that you need. Again, you go back to your AI employee training and your AI persona method, provide a persona, provide instructions. You're providing all the context right here. So you want to provide the persona and the structure so that the AI employee can appropriately respond in the channels that you had them respond in. That is one way that you can set up an AI employee to automate much of that workflow. And then you can also book appointments and set all the parameters for that. You can add contact info and update particular fields when that bot gets information. I mean, you can automate much of that purpose so that at that moment where you have the energy, the capability to respond back with that human touch, you have all the information you need. Remember, AI employees are a reflection of a process. They are not a reflection of doing everything. Set up these AI employees much like you would any AI employee that we've talked about before in ChatGPT or Claude. Define the process. Understand the value of that process. Have a very specific product or outcome that is valuable to what it is that you do. So if you want your AI employee to book appointments, have everything designed around booking appointments. If you wanted to trigger a particular workflow where you automate a nurture sequence, design your AI employee to trigger that specific process in your automations. Now, that is one of the ways that you can do this, but the greatest thing about this platform is that it also gives you the ability to create AI agents using voice. And you follow much of the same process here. You set up all of this information that you need to collect that information, what your initial message is, what the goals are, what sort of information is collected, the automation. You can also send the contact information to whoever it might need to go to, set all the parameters, see the dashboard and the logs and everything it is that you need to do. And with advanced settings, this is where you can also set some guidelines for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. The goal at the end of all of this is to train your AI employee so that it can execute a particular process for you. And under advanced mode, that's where you can start seeing the prompt and the training information that you need to be able to perfect the way that you are engaging with your clients that are contacting you. And the beauty of it is again, you're not doing this to replace you. You're doing this to augment what it is that you're doing, because you can't be in all places at all times. And the reality is your systems are oftentimes the reasons that you fail inside of your real estate career, whether that be for short-term goals or in the industry itself, because your system isn't built to provide you the foundation for success. Dan Kennedy said that wealth is built in systems. W.E. Deming said that if you can't define what you're doing as a process, you don't know what you're doing. Define your process. Train your AI employees, just like we've talked about time and time again inside of Claude and ChatGPT and Perplexity. You take the same approach here. You define the process, you define the persona, define the context, and define the instructions, and your AI agents, whether that be conversational AI or voice agents, will do very necessary work to drive up your value and increase your ability to close sales.